I just have a vague sense of duty to fix things and help people, but that only gets you so far. I don't have hope for me anymore, so I'm out.
Hey there, my name is Sean, and this is Suicide Noted. On this podcast, I talk with suicide attempt survivors so that we can hear their stories. Every year around the world, millions of people try to take their own lives, and we almost never talk about it. We certainly don't talk about it enough. And when we do talk about it, many of us, including me, we're not very good at it. So one of my goals with this podcast is to have more conversations, and hopefully better conversations with attempt survivors, in large part to help more people in more places hopefully feel a little less shitty and a little less alone. Now, if you are a suicide attempt survivor and you'd like to talk, please reach out. hello@suicidenoted.com, on Facebook or X @Suicide Noted. And if you'd like to learn more about the podcast, please check the show notes. There you can find all kinds of things, including our membership, if that's something you are curious about. And of course, we could use that kind of support. If that's not your thing, just listen and maybe leave us a rating and review. That really helps too. Thank you. Finally, we are talking about suicide on this podcast, and I don't hold back, so please take that into account before you listen or as you listen. But I do hope you listen because there's so much to learn. Today, I am talking with Craig. Craig lives in North Carolina, and he is a suicide attempt survivor. Craig, what's up, man? In the car. Let's just go right now. We're in a car. So can I tell people what city you're in, or is that too much information?
Yep, that's fine. Raleigh, North Carolina. Even funnier is I'm originally from upstate New York.
Oh, well, I'm from downstate, and I take that personally. But what part of upstate?
Rochester.
What are you doing down here?
My wife's originally from here, so she was tired of living in New York, so we moved down here.
Less snow, sure. Not as cold.
Yep.
And you're a good husband.
Yep, I try to be.
Yeah, man. And you're in a car. You know, I ask if you've heard the podcast. I don't know how many episodes you've heard.
I've heard quite a few.
You have? Okay, cool. Isn't it weird that I just happen to be here?
I know, it's funny. When I heard it, I was like, oh, man, I know where that is.
So what kind of car are you in?
I'm in a Ford Fiesta.
Let's party, baby.
All right.
And you're wearing your seatbelt.
Well, I just got here. I was meant to be home, but work kept me late. So
it's so symbolic, Craig. Talking about something difficult. I'm going to put my seatbelt on. I don't know if I can totally trust this guy. Ford Fiesta in a what? Like a driveway or a park somewhere in Raleigh?
Walmart parking lot.
Classic. One of my least favorite places on earth is not only Walmart, but big parking lots.
I'm right there with you on it, but it was close to work and it's where I had to be. So
what kind of work do you do?
I'm a maintenance guy for a animal shelter.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And here we are, and we're talking, and you sent me an email, and I know you're in your mid to late 30s, I believe.
I'm 38.
Got a mustache and a beard. You know, the audience wonders, maybe.
That's fair. I'm just lazy is what it comes down to, if I'm honest.
Right. I appreciate honesty, if nothing else. Got a sort of, I wouldn't say blue, I wouldn't say purple. It's somewhere in between shirt. What's the first thing you want to talk about? And we'll go from there.
I'll just start with my attempt.
Oh, wait, so you're just going to just dive right into the attempt?
Sure, why not? I've got one attempt, a few that I call mini attempts, but the one main attempt was, July 6th, D-Day. I don't remember much of the day. I was just normal work day. I remember leaving work and someone said, see you. And I said, yeah, maybe. Have a great day. Like, kind of joking, not really meaning anything. At least that's how she took it. Went home, got my 38 Special revolver. First, I wanted to feel how the trigger was up against my head and see if I had enough guts to do it. So I put it up my head with empty, squeezed it, was surprised by how quick it was. Because I've shot it before, but never in this type of scenario, of course. And so I put 2 bullets in. My wife came home. She was going to leave and go with friends for the rest of the night. So I had the rest of the night ready. She was just about to leave, and then my work called. Something broke. I had to come in. Pretty much broke down crying because I'm like, why today? I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. Why does something have to break? And me being the mechanic, Mr. Fix-It, got to help everybody except for myself. I stopped what I was doing, drove out and took care of what was broken. That was about the closest I ever got. I mean, it's pretty close, I would say, but not right there. I mean,
yeah, pretty damn close.
Yeah. So when I came home after it, I had to unload the gun and put the bullets away so my wife wouldn't find it. And yeah.
So would you have done it?
Yeah, 100%. I already had the notes written out. They're actually in my backpack right next to me. I carry them with me every day because I'm probably going to do it in September.
Okay, we got a lot to discuss, Craig.
I figured I'd just verbal diarrhea and we'll go from there.
That's the best kind of diarrhea. When you say July 6th, D-Day for a reason or just happened to be D-Day?
Nope, it was just I finished the notes, I think the week before. Is just happened to be everything came apart. I feel bad because I don't remember what happened that day, but it was just a shit day. I had enough. Everything was in line.
Okay.
Everything that was broken was fixed. I had my notes done. I had everything ready to go.
Everything was in line and everything was fixed because you're Mr. Mechanic.
Yep.
And if you've heard the podcast, you know where I'm going to go here?
I have a guess, but I don't know. I'm not the smartest bulb in the bunch.
I'm sure you're fine. Like, let's just say our first option for your memoir title is Mr. Mechanic. I'm not saying the conversation is over there. More importantly, July 6th, meaning last month, 2024.
Or June 6th. I'm sorry, not July. I apologize. I had the day wrong.
Oh, some of the listeners are probably up in arms. He just corrected himself. All the veterans are no one's going to call me. Don't worry. No one's messaging. So June 6th, July 6th, August 6th. So it's like 10 weeks ago and you would have died.
100%. Yep.
You didn't get a call to go in and fix something.
Yeah. It was something so stupid. I was quite pissed off about it because they could have fixed it themselves, but
here's a question only in the effort to understand what people are going through and thinking and feeling particularly when they're in these moments. Why did you respond to that call?
Thought about that, but my issue was I didn't want anyone to find me in case I didn't do it right. So I only put 2 bullets in. That's about it. That's all I could think of is really, maybe it's just I have to fix it. I'm responsible for this. This is my job because that's priority number 1. But that was pretty much it. I didn't want to get found and I have to fix things.
So your words, I fixed everything else except for myself or something like that. When you go home that night, there's a gun. You got guns and bullets.
I didn't have enough time because I knew my wife would be home soon and I didn't want to be found and I didn't want her to find me partially alive. There's a chance I could miss and have to bleed out.
So when you were going to do it and plan to do it before you got the call, was your brain or mind, I should say, in a space to know my wife will find me?
So I actually have a note I have notes. Then I have another note I'm going to put on the door saying, don't come into X area because that's where I am. Call 911. You don't need to see this.
As we talk here, you are within a month planning to end your life.
Correct.
Let me ask you a question. I do a lot of that. Apparently, I'm not supposed to ask, but if you ever want to ask a question you're not supposed to ask, just start a podcast. Why?
I'm tired. I've fought this for years. I'm done. I just don't have the fight in me anymore. I can't deal with it anymore. I just can't fight. The day, the relationships, everything it's too much for me. I can't deal with it anymore. I've tried, I've worked hard, I've had some good years, I've had some good times. I've made one too many mistakes and I can't fix it. So I'm done. I don't want to grow old like this. I don't want to be stuck.
What's this that you're tired of? You said some of it. That's why I'm sort of pushing. Like, what do you mean this? Tired of life?
Tired of life, tired of work, tired of relationships, tired of dealing with people, just everything. I wake up every day wishing I didn't wake up. It's just not worth it. I go to bed every night praying to a God I don't believe in that I will die.
Outside of people like in your immediate circle and perhaps including them, do they know how you feel?
No. One person that I work with knows, but doesn't know everything, and that's about it. Yeah, I've tried to explain it to my wife, but then she gets to the point where my childhood wasn't bad enough. She had a rough childhood, I get it, but I had a decent one. I wasn't great, wasn't bad.
Upstate New York, middle of the road.
Can't complain. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to talk here too, because you give more of the demographic of, wasn't terrible. I can't complain, but
yeah, I really do genuinely appreciate anyone who comes on here, but we don't get as many men. And I think it's interesting. It probably does skew a little bit more towards really rough fucking childhood. So I'm always like intrigued, like, oh, okay. So as you say, middle of the road. And not that we're like, this isn't therapy. We're not coming up with any, I don't need to know the whys and there's no fucking solutions. I respect everything you're saying and even your plans.
Thank you. I'm an introvert. I don't like hearing my voice. I don't plan to hear it. I pretty much plan to give everything I can to you. You do with the rest. And if somebody I know finds it, somebody knows I find it. They don't. it helps somebody, I'll be happy.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I mean, just hearing you talk to so many people and dealing with this majority of life, like you've said a million times, nobody talks about it much anymore. So if I can help the one person after I'm gone do something, help them get better, great. I'm happy. I'm glad I could help you because I do like helping people, but I'm tired.
On June 6th, 2024, you almost took your life. Do you think that it was anything beyond coincidence as to why you didn't?
I mean, it feels like a part of the universe didn't want me to go, but I don't necessarily 100% believe in that. But it is very weird, the circumstances of why I didn't do it, of how I got pulled away, I guess is a better way to say it. Because they ran out of gas in their van and they were literally 10 feet from the gas pump. And I don't know how to put it in neutral to push to the gas pump.
I would be that guy probably.
It was a new van. I get it, but it's still frustrating. And so I partially believe in that. That's might be the reason why, but I don't. I'm more of just crazy circumstances.
So when did you start? Because you said you've listened to the podcast many episodes. Did you binge or have you been listening for a while?
I've binged probably for the past 3 or 4 months. That's pretty much all I listen to. I can't listen all the time, but I have to listen mostly kind of work on my way to and home, stuff like that, because nobody else knows I really listen to this.
Right. Secret. Started listening. Obviously, you didn't hate it, or you probably wouldn't keep listening.
I love it, actually.
Awesome. Do you remember in your 38 years when you first started thinking about maybe taking your own life?
Probably in middle school, somewhere around there. I was starting to get bullied heavy at home, get bullied at school. I didn't necessarily have a plan, but I knew we had a lot of guns, but I had too much respect for them to use them. So I would look at like, hey, there's a train. I could jump in front of that. Or there's a semi. I could do that. But then I'd think I'd feel bad for the person who's driving it. That would put my pain onto them.
And are you thinking that way inconsistently or intermittently for the last 25 years? I think if I'm doing the math right.
Yeah, pretty much. I had probably a good, 3 years where I didn't think about it too heavy. Life was pretty decent then. But yeah, pretty much, except for those 3 years, I would think about it daily.
So I always wonder when someone's thinking about it for such a long period of time and they don't try. Like you said, one thing is, for example, with the train, you don't want the reason why you may not have done it. But I imagine, was there other reasons that stopped you?
Maybe I felt I had to do something else, like, I had to go fix something the next day or help somebody do something like that. But other than that, it's just mostly I wasn't smart enough of other ways. I didn't want to bother the other people and I didn't want to use a gun and I don't want to use a gun, but I did that one time.
Oh, so September is a different method?
Correct. Yes. I'm going to use inert gas. 2 other methods as backup in case that doesn't work out. I'm going to get the tank probably, I got to get refilled this week or next week.
So what's it like living your life? Our conversation is part of that, but even more so when you're not talking about it, which is, I think, most of the time, knowing you are likely going to be dead in some weeks.
It's strangely freeing. Like some things I'll think about and it's like, I don't have to worry about that because that'll be a couple months from now and I'll be dead. It sounds sad, but I'm trying to do more things like go out to eat a little more because I don't have to worry about watching my weight now.
Don't have to worry about money as much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm trying to save as much money as I can because I know it's going to be tough on my wife and finances and all that stuff. But
sure. There was a guy I noticed who just, was like probably walking to his car in a white shirt. I wonder if he has any idea what we're talking about. Of course he doesn't.
Nope, no clue. Probably thinks it's a job interview.
This is a good time to remind people that we do have a membership. I never usually say this during the conversation.
That's why I did this because I don't have the money to send. So I figured at least I could give you an episode.
Couldn't be more grateful for that. I really do appreciate it. Mm-hmm. So 38 special, no more.
It's my backup plan. That's my last resort. If I have to, I will, but I'm pretty sure one of the other methods will work fine.
All right. So if your backup plan is a 38 special, you are going to be dead and you clearly want to be dead.
Like I said, the best way I can put it is I'm just tired. I'm tired of fighting.
You ever go to a therapist?
No, I have not. I have tried in the past, but I didn't have money, didn't have insurance, or I've been waitlisted. Because I tried probably about maybe a month ago. Got waitlisted for 5 of them. I did it more as a promise, just to the coworker who knows about it.
What does your coworker say?
She said it would literally destroy her if I do it, and she really doesn't want me to.
But she's not going to call anybody, the authorities, or...
She doesn't know that I'm this point. I feel bad, but I lied to her a bit because I'm saying I'm doing better and put on my face of, smile, nod. So that's what I do. I know it's going to hurt a lot of people and I feel bad.
Yeah, that just speaks to your pain, though. That's worse.
I know they'll be able to get over it because they've got over not suicide, but other pains of losing people. They'll be able to do it. And I hope my notes give them some sort of closure, some sort of window into my pain and why I did it.
So it's a safe bet that 0 people know we're talking.
No, nobody knows.
How many notes are there?
There are 9.
9 envelopes to 9 different people?
I think it's 12 people because some of them are doubles, like my parents, brother, wife. I got one for EMS and police because I feel bad for them.
Oh, you're thinking about people a lot.
They're doing a favor and they're just doing their job. And I understand that and have some compassion for them. So,
and I don't think that's uncommon. Yeah, I think it's common for people to want to end their lives and be constantly thinking about others. Comes up all the time here. Sealed up, names on the envelope. Were those hard to write?
Yeah, a few of them I broke down, but I powered through them. A few of them I've gone through different changes a few things.
Between the first attempt and now?
Correct. Yep. Things changed or just thought of something, stuff like that. I created another one for my nephew because I see him going down a similar path as when I was his age. So I wanted to help steer him. He may not listen, but at least give him a little guidance.
Were there other things when you were growing up that you think may have contributed to this? So you talked about bullying, and I know you're probably speculating here, but was there other stuff?
I mean, how I grew up was, be a man, hide your emotions, smile and nod through it. Probably didn't help. Don't talk about anything. I grew up in an Irish Catholic family, so stuff everything down, regret everything, pray that you'll be forgiven later.
Have a whole lot of fucking guilt.
Yep, exactly.
So do you practice Catholicism?
Nope. I don't really believe in anything. I believe there might be a power. I don't forget what the name of it. I apologize. But, there might be something, but I don't really believe in any organized religion.
Do you think that when you die, you go somewhere?
I think it's nothing. You go to sleep and nothing. But I don't really know.
Yeah?
That's what I hope, I guess is more a better way to put it.
Why'd you have 2 bullets and not 1?
In case I woke up so that I could try to shoot again.
Do you think you have something that a therapist or a doctor or counselor could diagnose you as and it might be accurate?
I mean, besides depression, I don't think so. But I mean, like I said, I never went to one before.
Do you think that you could be feeling the way you're feeling and not be depressed?
I mean, right now I'm not terribly depressed. I mean, I'm sad and I deal with, I want everything to end. But I mean, I go get lunch at a local restaurant because why not?
I know, it's kind of interesting to me.
So, I mean, I find more joy in things, but even then, I mean, I smoke weed almost every night to try to, level myself out and not feel anything. And even when I'm high, I'm still like, yeah, you're a piece of shit. You need to die.
Weird question, given all that you have shared. Why are you waiting?
It's my wife's birthday coming up. I don't really want it too near that for her to spoil her birthday. I'm just waiting for the time where I have the house to myself.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, and some people will hear this, they might be like, that's pretty fucking morbid, but you try on June 6th, you get this call, you come home, you go to bed, or at some point.
Yep.
My thinking is like, if someone really wants to die, and I believe you do, June 7th, June 8th, June 9th.
She gets home before me, and I don't really have anywhere else. I'm alone in the state. I don't really know anything. Honestly, the other thing that didn't help was moving here. I mean, nothing against North Carolina, but I've lost my family, lost my friends. I have nothing. I think that was kind of the final thing that pushed me over the edge.
When did you move here?
I moved here the beginning of 2020 or 2021. I can't remember.
This is going to be a weird question, a hard question, with the understanding that your wife will probably never hear that. How do you feel about your wife?
We're having some problems. That's not part of it, but it doesn't help. I mean, we all pretend everything's fine. Life is great, but I see she may not be the best fit for me. Maybe a little bit of, not user, but I can't think of the right word. So I love her. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's part of the problem. I haven't treated her the best either. And, she hasn't treated me the best either. So it's kind of wash one hand, wash the other type of thing.
How long have you been married?
We were married in 2017, been together since 2010.
Wow.
Things kind of more changed when we moved down here. Things were different when we were in New York together. But when she got down here, things changed. I can't really put a finger on it exactly. So we've been very distant. I've made other mistakes in my life. So
nobody knows you attempted.
No. except for the one coworker friend
Oh, you did tell her that specifically as well.
that I tempted.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
That would freak a lot of people out.
Yeah, it freaked her out. She knows I've thought about it and I've told her a lot. She knows a good portion of me and stuff like that. She honestly knows probably more than my wife. And because my wife's never been open for talking, she always shuts down. And I'm not trying to blame her. I don't want that. Like, it's not her fault. That's fine. She has her own demons. I get it.
So you go through your days and you don't talk to anybody ever about this. And occasionally with the coworker a little bit.
Correct. I write a lot of journal entries, but notes to myself of things I feel, things I'm thinking, stuff like that. And that helps. That was a Band-Aid on the wound, but it didn't stop me. It's not stopping me. It helps a little bit, relieve a little pressure.
Is that journal going to be available to people in your life?
No, that'll be deleted. It's all digital on my phone. So the only thing that'll be left on my phone is text messages, pictures, and voice,
So all the other things that people tie up before they die, the loose ends, so to speak, is that what you're in the middle of doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty much done. I just need to fix a few things on my car, so it'll be good for her. Yeah, other than that, everything is pretty much done.
You have a date?
I don't have an exact date, first or second week. That's somewhere in that range, because I can't pick exact dates. I don't know when she works or when she's off or when she's gone from the house. And I don't want to do it somewhere not at the house, because then she's worried about where's my body. She's got to get the car back, all that stuff. And I don't want somebody else to find me and be traumatized and give them problems.
Right. How do you think she'll respond? I mean, this is an impossible question to answer, I guess.
She's going to be destroyed. I know that. I mean, I know she's not going to be well for it, and I feel terrible. Yeah. I really hope she listens to my note saying, don't come into the garage or don't go behind the garage or go in the woods, because I got a couple different locations. I don't know, depending on where I do it. But whichever note I put out there saying, don't go that way, I hope she listens and calls the police. But yeah, I know it's not going to be easy for her. I mean, I know she's luckily down here with her. We're here because of her family. So she has her sister, her mother, close friends, stuff like that.
So if I asked you when you were 5, well, not 5, that's too young, 10, 15, 20, 25, I know you were thinking, see, I kind of know the answer here, because what I was going to ask is, at 38, you will have taken your own life. What would you have said? Let's say half your life ago. What would that have been? 19 years old. Let's use that as a number.
Get help now. Go stay in school. Don't be an idiot. And don't chase women. Find myself is pretty much what I should say. Don't fill the void with other people.
And you would have stayed in school or gone to school?
Yeah, I was in college, but I dropped out to move here for the first time back in the 2010, 2009, something like that.
I don't have to ask you the pink and purple pill question, do I?
Oh, I love that question. Yes, I'll take it in a heartbeat. Give it me now.
Go to sleep, die peacefully. No one knows it's a suicide. Right now, I give it to you through Zoom in your Ford Fiesta at the Walmart parking lot with your bluish shirt on. You just take it right now. Done.
Not now. I'll go home, take it when I go to sleep, make it look like I fell asleep and didn't wake up.
You know what? I wonder how many people go to sleep thinking that.
I bet you a lot.
And then I wonder, these are obviously things you can't ever know, but what percentage of them at some point think, man, I'm glad I didn't die in my sleep all those times I thought that. And I wonder how many people are like, nope, still feeling that way, because you're one of those people.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people. I wish it was different to a small degree, but
if I told you somehow magically, let's use it a different color pill, orange pill. If I magically somehow could guarantee in a certain period of time, you really would feel different about everything. Like if it was tomorrow, you'd be like, cool. But if it was a year, I don't know. If it's 10 years, that's probably too long to. It's like you wake up and somehow it's all fucking okay.
If it was the next day, maybe, but I would also want it to just change who I am. I hate myself. I hate who I am, what I am. I hate everything about me. So if it would wipe me clean, wipe my memories and start me as a new person, sure.
Is there anything you like about yourself, or at least don't hate about yourself?
Not really. Even my ability to fix things, I hate it, because then people use me for it. So what's the point? So not really, no. Too earlier, that's a part of the reason why I don't want to be here anymore. I hate myself. Hell, looking on Zoom, looking at myself in the corner, I hate it.
Oh, you need good lighting. Just playing. Though it's a metaphor. Not a good one. When you think about all you've gone through, the question around myths or misconceptions, did any come to mind that you want to dispel?
Honestly, I've thought a lot about this since I got your email, and the only thing I can come up with, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I've heard a lot of people say it's not selfish. I've heard some people say it is selfish. I think it's a bit of both. I know what I'm doing is selfish to everybody else, but also it's not selfish because I'm done. I'm tired. I don't want to fight anymore. I think it's more of a not one way or the other. It's kind of in the middle.
You know what's really interesting to me is people that feel the way you feel when you say you go to work, and I don't know if you're like smiling the whole time, but you're presenting.
Oh yeah, I smile. I put the face on, smile and nod.
But isn't that exceptionally difficult and tiring?
Oh God, yeah. I remember I looked at the security camera at my work one day and I was looking for something else, but I saw me walk past somebody. Smile, all nice, wave. Second they're gone. Just back to resting, tired of everything. Second I see somebody, light up again. That's tiring. I hate putting on that face every single day, multiple times a day.
What do you do other than work that doesn't suck?
I used to play video games, but that lost interest. I used to work on cars a lot, but since moving here, I've lost that. Used to ride motorcycle, but since moving here, lost that. Really smoke, watch stupid shows. That's about it.
Favorite show?
I like Letterkenny. It's a Canadian comedy show about a bunch of hick farmers. And that's kind of where I grew up, was upstate New York with a bunch of hick farmers. So it's relatable.
Sure. So what happens, and I know this is a long shot, what happens if all three don't work?
I'll do it again. I'll find another way. I'll try again.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is being found and being institutionalized and having that chance of having a great time and, being helped in the institution or being hurt and damaged, and just smile and nod and lie. I mean, that's what I've learned from listening to people.
Yeah.
And especially here in Raleigh, I'm guaranteeing it's probably going to be terrible. Yeah, I'm not gonna give up. That's kind of funny to say.
It really is. Wait a second. That's the memoir title. Done. I'd love it because you're saying that. It's suggesting like, oh, he's got hope. But like a big, bold subtitle that says something like, nah, fuck off, or just something. Help me out. What do you got?
I'm not going to give up trying to kill myself is all I got. That's why I have so many methods on standby. I'm pretty sure the first one will work, but the other ones, I'll try again. I'm not going to tell anybody because then they'll take those tools away from me.
I usually do this podcast with zero fear. Once in a while, when someone is so certain, there's a little voice. If the wrong people hear this and you didn't tell Craig to call 1-800 blah, 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 we're going to hold you. We're going to sue you. We're going to take you to jail. So let me ask you this, Craig. Is there anything I could say to you that would change your mind?
Nope.
Just wanted that to be very clear.
And I appreciate the offer of trying to help. I do.
You know where I stand.
Oh, yeah. And that's one thing I greatly appreciate about your podcast and you. You do fantastic work.
I appreciate that. And now's a good time to let people know again, if you want to make a financial contribution to the Suicide Noted podcast and its founder and host, Sean Wellington, message me really like today. You will be the isn't this astounding 230 something episode? It's like, wow, it's a lot of fucking people.
That is. That's a lot of work. So I give you credit.
It is some work. I wonder of those people, how many aren't here anymore?
Yeah. I mean, from the ones I've heard, I feel like there's more people that are on the other side or being more hopeful than there are people like me, but there's probably a good percentage.
Yeah, but there's probably some. And I imagine for some people that are ready to go, they're not even bothering with messaging me. They're done. What else did you want to talk about when you were thinking about coming on, and the conversations you've heard or the questions there, which we've weirdly gotten through most of them? I'm looking at them right now.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that for the day, for probably about a week afterwards, I did feel really good. I felt positive. I kind of felt like I wanted to live a little bit, but then it just slowly kind of crawled back in and was like, yeah, but it's the same shit. You still hate yourself. You still got to go to work. You still got to deal with everything. It didn't stick and it wasn't worth it.
Why do you think you felt better?
I don't know. I really don't know. I just had a good feeling about things. And part of it is I've been thinking more about leaving my wife. So that was, I was like, well, maybe we can make it work. Maybe we can make it, stay. But it's like, no, it's the same shit, same thing. And I'm not saying that's the reason I'm killing myself. I thought like, well, maybe we can make this work. No, it's the same shit over and over again. Nothing changes. Even try talking to her. Nothing changes.
Do you have friends?
So I have one friend that's still in New York, and then I have the coworker. I've had a few friends here and there, but that's another subject that I have difficulty with because, making friends is difficult. And then she's kind of controlling on how I hung out with my friends when I was, living in New York, stuff like that. So that didn't help anything.
Yeah, you're 38, so I don't know where middle age starts, but you're not too far away. Yeah. There's just this group of people that I'm so intrigued by, and then it's middle age, but because I'm a man, I guess more men. It's interesting. It's just, there's a better word than that, where you get to this point and everyone's got this unique story, but it's kind of not so unique, right? And it's like, It's just not working out. And I've lived long enough and I know myself in some ways well enough to say it's not going to change much. Can I? And there'll be people, mostly not people who listen to this podcast, they'll be like, but. Okay, great. But I get that. And so the question then is like, yeah, you either accept that, keep trudging through, or you don't.
I think a lot of it is a lot of people have kids and that's what keeps them going. I don't have any kids. I never wanted them. I mean, I did want a little bit, but not in this world, not with the one what I make and all that stuff. I don't have that. My dog passed away 2 years ago. Don't have that anymore. Yep. She was pretty much my daughter. I know that'll piss some people off, but hey, at this point, I don't care.
I mean, like you said, in some ways it's freeing.
Yeah.
Do you feel, given that it's, I don't know, 3 to 4 weeks away, so you said earlier there's a lightness. Did I get that correctly?
Yeah, I feel like I don't have to worry about stuff as much anymore. I mean, things at work, they're like, yeah, this month you're going to have to do this. Sure. Not my problem. At least someone else's problem. Stuff like that. Thinking about repairs in my house that are going to have to be done years down the road that I know will have to be fixed. Should probably sell the house so I don't have to worry about it. Freeing and kind of nice. And I know that I could live off of that, but it's just going to come back because then I'm going to keep living. So why? It's a really weird place to be in. It's freeing. It's nice, but it's also depressing, sad, wanting to give up. I put my time in. I fought for 30 some odd years. I'm done. It's not going to get any better. It's only going to go downhill from here, which I know that's subjective. It goes same thing with the What If Brigade, but
sure. I mean, you could do that forever if you want,
but it's not worth it to me. I'd rather go out on my own terms, not deal with it anymore. Go to sleep and not wake up.
Would you want there to be a way where you could end your life with, for lack of a better word, sort of like a death with dignity thing? Like,
oh God, I wish. I mean, I would love that. I wish that was a thing. I mean, it's just such a stigma of you're a terrible person for thinking this way. You're hurting everybody, Like I've gave my fair shot. I've tried. Just let me be. There's a million other people that'll replace me. I'm good. The world doesn't need me.
It's a good memoir title, but we've already decided. So stop baiting me, Craig.
Sorry.
Do you think that if somebody is wanting to end their own life, they are by definition, however you define it, mentally ill?
No, they're not mentally. They could be.
Sure.
But no, I don't feel like I'm mentally ill. Yes, I have some problems, but I'm pretty sane. I mean, everyone else thinks I'm sane enough to keep living this life.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I be sane enough to decide to end it?
Yeah. And you do a lot of things in your life that are reflective of somebody who is at least somewhat sane.
So I don't necessarily think so. And it's also an unfair. I mean, I know I'm a little more in the world of the suicide thinking about it regularly, but it's just so shitty how people treat people even talking about it. It's like such a taboo, such a negative, terrible thing.
Yeah. So when's your birthday?
February. I will not see my birthday.
You will not see your birthday.
Nope. Won't see next year.
You won't see cold weather?
Nope, which is sad because I love snow and all that stuff like up in Rochester. I love playing in it, driving in it, snowmobiling, snowboarding. I miss it. Definitely a regret of mine, moving.
Did you ever think about just hopping in your car and going back?
Oh, yeah. We don't have the money to move back with all of her stuff. She doesn't want to leave. She's happy here with her family, friends. And honestly, that was another reason why I probably didn't really do it when I was in New York, because she's stuck there with a family she doesn't really like, except for one or two people. She's away from her family and friends, so I didn't want to burden her with that. Now she's here. She's got support. She can take care of herself more, and I can end my life.
So are you leaving work? Are you going to go home after this?
Yep, I'm going to go home.
So when we end this meeting, you're going to drive home, and is she home?
No, she probably won't be home. Well, depending when we finish, but
she's going to walk in the door and have absolutely no idea anything, not only that we talk, but she just doesn't know anything that's going on.
Correct. I mean, I think she has an idea that I'm not happy because I'm not, that's
right.
Pretty obvious. And she did talk to me once, probably about a month ago, saying, I'm worried that I'm going to come home and you're going to be dead. She's like, promise me you won't do that. Like, I will try my best, knowing that I will. I've tried talking to her and she's not that helpful, I guess, which sounds terrible to say. I mean, she's talked about getting me therapy and then we have to spend money on this or change job and insurance is worse. So we can't afford it. So there's always been something in my way to try to get help. And it's just, what's the point?
Well, that's it too, right? Because part of the being tired of fighting is that too, right? All the obstacles and you don't have a solution. It just adds up.
Yeah. And even if I had the insurance for money, then I still might get a shit therapist or not connect with them, try again, get on another waiting list. I know I could do Zoom, but it's just, I don't have I'd rather, if I'm going to get help, I'd rather be it in person because that's how I am. Trying to find in person is difficult. Zoom, I just don't know if it'd be for me.
Now, this podcast is way better on Zoom than in person. I'll tell you that. It would be all good. I did do one thing in person and I recorded it and it's an episode, but much better for that kind of thing, I feel like.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Right. So how many guns do you own?
I got 4.
Okay. 38 special. What else?
38 special, Remington 870 pump shotgun, cheap single shot 20 gauge shotgun, and then a Ruger 1022 rifle. I mean, I grew up with guns, enjoyed them. I have much respect for them. I mean, honestly, that was another thing with like in New York is I didn't want to go get help because if you are considered a risk to yourself, you can't own guns. And it's like, I get it if I'm a risk to other people, but it's like, that's my life, my right, my choice. And, I get it. They're trying to save people, whatever. But it's like, why would I I can't, even if I went to therapy, I can't be like, yeah, I'm not killing myself. Though I'm not going to use a gun. Don't worry. I have too much respect for him, even though I tried with one. But
it's interesting. I maybe once in all these conversations heard someone ending their life by doing the hose in the car thing.
I thought about that, but the problem is that cars with catalytic converters are so efficient now. Takes so long if it doesn't happen at all. And I don't have my old car running anymore. So,
and I wasn't making a suggestion. You seem to have pretty clear ideas on how to do it. Just that used to be something you'd hear about. Like that's a method and you just don't hear about it very often. When you were doing that research, did you ever get a pop-up of like, call this phone number?
Oh yeah, all the time. And that was because Google, I know, changes it. So if you do search things, they won't show you the actual stuff you're looking for. So you kind of have to search things different ways now.
Is that right?
So I had to search through Reddit, then find like the one forum I told you about earlier. Because all they'll do is if you search like suicide, death, something, they'll just give you all the help things. At least that's what I found with my phone. I could be wrong. Could be just me because Google knows me well enough.
I have no idea. Yeah. 9 suicide notes to 12 people. How short is the shortest one?
Shortest is the EMT. That's probably 3 or 4 sentences, mostly thanking them, apologizing, and saying, because I've read online before where a lot of times the police will take your suicide notes as evidence. So I wanted to leave that, I'm who I am. This is where I live. Here's some information. I'm doing this. This is my choice. I have not been murdered. Mm-hmm. I apologize. Thank you.
What about the longest one?
It's actually to my nephew. He's probably about a full page for verbally diarrheaing everything that, like I said earlier, he's going down. I can see him going down a similar path as I was, not caring about school, caring about dating, having fun, all that stuff. And I'm not saying that's the only reason why I'm killing myself, but I mean, it's a good part. I make shit money. I don't have a degree. I can't get a better job. I've been trying for 3 to 5 years. I'm stuck where I am.
Brutal, yeah. Brutal.
Then the next would be my mother and father, then my wife for length.
I mean, what you were just describing about your nephew and even yourself with respect to money and other things, it's just a hope or lack thereof. And when you run out of hope, and I don't mean to poorly quote Shawshank Redemption here, but, what do you have?
Yeah, nothing. I just have a vague sense of duty to fix things and help people, but that only gets you so far. I don't have hope for me anymore, so I'm out.
I'm not going to quit trying ... to kill myself.
It's just funny because I even brought my own memoir just in case.
What do you have?
It's more my life saying, but it says, theirs is not to make reply, theirs is not to reason why, theirs is but to do or die into the valley of death. The March of the Lightning Brigade.
What is the March of the Lightning Brigade?
I'm not the best in history, but it was a cavalry going against tanks in the Prussian War. And the commander says, you need to go on the horseback and sabers and go fight those tanks. And the commander goes, ours is not to reason why, ours is not to question why, ours is but to do or die. So that's kind of my motto I've been since I've been in maintenance. Mine's not to reason why, mine's but to do or die.
Soldiers.
I'm not trying to relate myself to any way to them, but that's how I feel.
Into the valley of death. And that's where you're going. Kind of think that's where you are.
That's where I've been for a while. I mean, especially in the past 3 years, 4 years. Before it was better. I thought about it every day, but I wasn't as convicted. But now I'm done. I've lost my support, lost things that made me happy, that may have pushed me on a couple more years, made bad decisions. I'm over. I'm done.
No doubt about it, right?
I will still say there's an 80% chance I may change my mind, may do that, but I doubt, actually more 90% chance that I will do it and 10% chance that I won't. Because, life happens. There's a chance for everything.
Yeah.
But I'm about as sure as I can be. I know it's going to hurt a lot of people. I know a lot of people are going to be sad. Sorry.
It's weird. I've had this before, not a ton, but like someone being rather sure they're going to do it rather soon. And I'm like, okay, so when I say goodbye, I'm saying goodbye.
For what I hope, yeah. Don't want to stop listening and talking to you, but
Wow, you're saying that my podcast on Mondays is not enough reason to keep living, Craig? I'm just so offended.
sorry, I'm not that good of a fan. I apologize.
You're not making the platinum level of the fan club. I'm sorry, because they will. No, I'm just playing.
No, not like I said, this is my contribution to you.
Do you have anything on your bucket list that you plan to do before you go?
I made a huge bucket list of what I wanted to do, and there's none of it I can, and it's not worth doing.
What do you recall from that list? I'm just curious.
A lot of different cars I wanted to own. So I'm a huge motorhead mechanic, all that. A lot of projects I wanted to finish or start, travel, see different places. I mean, there's quite a few video games that are going to come out in the near future that I'm not going to be able to play.
Hold up. Probably many video games.
I mean, I'm replaying my two favorite ones right now, just as one last hurrah.
Which are they? What are they?
They're called Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII. Role-playing type games back in PlayStation 1 era.
I mean, there'll be a lot of new games. There'll be a lot of new cool cars. There'll be a lot of this, a lot of that. There'll always be a project. There'll always be a place you're never going to see. It's always, or you want to see.
I wish there's more things anything I could really check off of it, but nothing. I don't have the money, don't have the time, don't have the ability to. I'm sad about it, but it's not going to stop me.
That's pretty clear. So it goes. Anything else you want to add, Craig?
Just you're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing, and I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Our episode will come out.
So you'll listen and you'll be able to listen and not, will you be like, God, I fucking hate myself. I hate my voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
100%. The whole time I'm going to be ripping myself a new one. I hate my voice. I'm like, why'd you say that? You're stumbling over words. You're an idiot. I'm the toughest critic on myself, so it's going to be painful. But doing this, I would never do this, never do a podcast, never talk anything like this, because I'm a very keep to myself introverted, but I figured, what do I got to lose? If that helps one person, I at least did one last good thing before I left. I don't know how.
We don't know these things. And I will say you probably will make absolutely no difference. In fact, I know it'll make no difference on your self-concept, but you didn't stumble and bumble at all.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I stumbled and bubbled way more than you.
In fairness, I practiced quite a bit on all the things I would ask him.
All right, man. I thank you. I wish you well. Weirdly, just kind of want to say safe travels.
Thank you, sir. You do the same. Like I said, I appreciate everything you do.
You got it, my friend. Take care.
You too. Bye.
As always, thanks so much for listening and all of your support, and special thanks to Craig in North Carolina. Thanks, Craig. If you are a suicide attempt survivor and you'd like to talk, please reach out. hello@suicidenoted.com on Facebook or X, at least for now, @suicidenoted. Check the show notes to learn more about the podcast, including our membership. Thank you for your support, for listening, and everything else. And that is all for episode number 234. Stay strong. Do the best you can. I'll talk to you soon.